froggies, so I am back with another video today, but this one is not a studio vlog. I'm going to show you how I took this piece of pottery. I don't know how well you can see it. It is so beautiful in my opinion. My husband found it for me when we were camping for my birthday, and I'm going to show you how I made this piece of art that goes with it. You really cannot tell the colors in it because cameras be whack, but yes, this piece of art. So we're going to transition. Alrighty everyone, so you saw my little intro video. Now we are on to the actual drawing, and as you can see, I'm just sketching right now. I actually think it got cut out of the video, but I pick a color palette in the very beginning. I pick the colors with this like story behind this because I can't just do things normally. I have to make stories behind everything I do because how else would I think? It would just be too easy. So because of the way the purples, the blues, and the pinks fade together, in my mind, I was like, this is romantic because they're just like all fusing and stuff, and I was like, oh, how beautiful. It's like two lovers. So what you're seeing right now is the sketching process of the two lovers. Now, in my head, she's very sad because he has to go away, because it seems like the blue is kind of fading away and leaving, and the purple's kind of taking over. So I was immediately like, what's dramatic and would take someone away? War. So he's leaving because of war, and she's really sad about it. A little bit about my art process with this. This actually took me forever to do. The whole drawing took me about 5 hours, I think. I think it was like 4 minutes and 50, or sorry. It was 4 hours and like 50 minutes. I'm just saying it took me 5 hours because it felt like it took 5 hours. Because of the way the blue and the purple fade together, I was like, that has to be hair. So I made it into hair, and I wanted it to look very much so flowing together and fused together. And that is the part that absolutely took the longest, because I wanted each strand to have, like, to look good, you know? It wasn't like how I normally do my hair, which is one solid block of color, which was really nice because it's just nice to get out of your comfort zone a little bit when you're creating pieces like this and just seeing what you like more. And I probably won't do it again. I mean, not never again, but it won't be something I do like for my comics or for regular things because of how long it took. But I loved it. I love the way it turned out. I love the way it looks. I love how flowy it is. I think he looks so handsome. I think she looks so desperate. I think it's just a really lovely, beautiful story that you can just see in there. Oh, my color palette showed up. There's my color palette. And I pretty much used only those 7 colors throughout the whole painting process. And it's not the exact colors in the pottery. I definitely bumped up the saturation a little bit, but I like how that looks. I'm a saturation kind of gal. I like bright colors and all that kind of stuff. But I was saying, it's fun to play around with different art processes. I don't normally do stuff like this with hair. And it was this stage in the whole process that I kind of started to hate it, because I was like, what the frick? There are just purple stripes everywhere. But then I was like, Lily, you have to just calm down and stick it through. You're an artist, you know to trust the process. So I did. And I'm glad I did, because if I gave up on this, I would have been really sad. It actually wasn't my idea to make the pottery into a piece of art. It was one of my best friends. She was like, you should make this into an art piece. You can kind of see the hair coming together at this point. Kind of found a way to speed up the process. I would make these sections and then just fill them in with color using the dropper tool, because I use Procreate to do all of my digital work, because that's what I learned to do it on. I was using Sketchbook before Procreate, but I just liked the bells and whistles of Procreate a little bit better. After I got my rhythm with the hair, I ended up really liking it, the whole process of making the hair, because there was something really therapeutic about trying to make it look like it was fusing together, and all these really intricate details and these individual strands. This was the really tedious part, so I was doing this forever. You can kind of see there are some places where I changed the shape of her head, I changed the shape of his ear, I changed the size of her eye, because I was just trying to get my proportions in the right spot, and I wanted them to look good together. I was also really inspired by Renaissance paintings, or that romantic era of art, and just the way that couples would look at each other and the way artists painted it. I think it was so lovely. I wanted to keep the pieces of his hair that were closest to her pink, and the pieces of her hair that were closest to him kind of purple or blue, because I really wanted it to seem like they were flowing together and like they were one. And then I got to this background portion, and I could not settle on a color for the background. You'll see I changed it a couple times. Now I'm getting my shadow layer down. This was when I started to not only speed up my process, because it doesn't take me as long to do this, but I really started to fall in love with it because it was coming together. I just thought it looked so nice and lovely with these shadows and highlights. And once I finish with the highlights, I go in with an airbrush and add some really, oh, there we go. I changed the background color again. But I went in with an airbrush and I added some soft pink hues. I duplicated the line art layer and I added the Gaussian blur and everything. But yeah, this is how it ended up, guys. I loved it. So in that little video you saw, I kind of cut myself off because I haven't recorded while looking at the thing. So I got very distracted by my self-drawing. I had so much fun with this drawing. At the end, you see me duplicate my line art layer. I add Gaussian blur and chromatic aberration because I think it makes everything look good, and I add it to my art all the time. Literally, chromatic aberration, and if I'm saying that wrong, I'm gonna freak out. Let's find out. I think it's chromatic aberration. I add chromatic aberration and Gaussian blur to literally everything. I really like it on my line art layers. I'll duplicate my line art layer and make the one underneath have a little bit of Gaussian blur and a little bit of chromatic aberration. I also really like to add those two effects to highlight layers sometimes. I like to add it to text layers. I like to add it to my brain stopped working. Completely empty. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what I was gonna say. I add it to my line art, I add it to my highlights sometimes. Sometimes I add it to text. Sometimes I just add it to random crap. I like the way it looks. I do it to my thumbnails a lot, so you've probably seen me do chromatic aberration. And if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to see it in the future. Thank you for watching this little video. I hope you guys have a great evening, rest of your day, morning. I don't know when you're watching this, so whenever it is, the rest of your day, have a good one. A great one even. My little froggies, you better have the best darn day. I want to know all about it. You better tell me in the comments. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.